Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Red Sparks Crypto Blog for your crypto and Cardano news. Quick word on the market. It's not something I normally spend too long on, but Bitcoin hasn't been doing so well lately. It dipped a few days ago. It's been bouncing around and it's dipped even further right now. So it's hovering just under 64K. So that's obviously not a good sign in the short term, though obviously if you ever zoom out, generally over a 5-year period it goes up and up and up. Same thing with Cardano, is hovering at the $2 mark, so it fell in tandem with Bitcoin. But if we zoom out, let's do 1-year mark, it went up, 5-year mark, it went up. So it's up to you what you want to make of that information. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I know what's going to happen to the financial markets. Bitcoin and crypto could, for the next year, go down from where they are now, or they could continue to go up. It's anybody's guess. This was a really good article, so good that I may end up reading most of it out to you. But I tuned in the other day for a Facebook YouTube video on the Metaverse. So for those who haven't heard, which can't be that many people, Facebook have renamed themselves to Meta. And they did a whole YouTube video on why, the rationale. In fact, this one here condenses it to 11 minutes. That's not a very flattering image of old Zook there. Maybe let's try and find one where he looks less robotic. Or let's just focus on that. There we go. That's a little bit better. I know that still looks robotic. Maybe everything he does looks robotic. Come on, give me a... Okay, we'll go with that. So anyway, so because of the fundamental shift to how we work, which has been spurred on by COVID, so in recent polls, people have said they'd rather quit their jobs than be forced back into the office 5 days a week. And believe me, all these big companies are trying hard to come up with ways to get people back into the office. But the majority of people who've now tasted remote working do not want to go back 5 days a week, which I'm really happy about. Remote working is something I was quite keen on previously, but I had so many friends say, oh, I don't think I'll be very productive if I work from home, blah, blah, blah. Well, everybody has realized that they can be productive working from home. Thank you very much. So that's good. So companies like Facebook and Microsoft have now projected this trend forward into the future. And they're saying, okay, well, if we're all working, in all these different places, some of us in the office, some of us are remote, how is that going to look in the future? So Microsoft, for example, apologies if you can hear my washing machine gurgling there in the background. So Microsoft, for example, demonstrated a business meeting of the future in which one person is in the office and they're doing a video cam, a Skype session to a avatar of somebody. So they're talking to someone's avatar, and that avatar is reflecting that person's facial expression and movement in real time. But the person on screen and the background is a virtual representation of them. It's not really them, and it's not their actual environment that they're talking in. And the reason for that, as I'm sure we can all relate to, is when you're working remotely, you might not always be in a place where you want to share your background. You might have kids running around. You might not have put your makeup on, things like that. And that's completely fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. So it's great to see tech companies thinking through that and offering us alternative solutions to still allow that human connectivity so that you do still feel like that there is interaction with another person there. And it's the same sort of theme for Facebook as well. So he spends a lot of this video really talking about how to make those human experiences feel real and not 2D, which is the current, internet experience is very 2D. So Facebook, they own Oculus. So Oculus is a virtual reality headset that was developed a few years back, and Facebook acquired them. So they're very big on virtual reality already, and he announced in the video that they're going to be developing a new gen version of their virtual reality headset in the future. So they're putting a lot of money into virtual reality and also augmented reality. So augmented reality, for those who are familiar with Pokemon Go, that's one example where you take the real world and you layer something on top of the real world. All those funny faces you can do on your I guess, your iPhone, where you put a cat face on it. That's also augmented reality. But Facebook are looking into sunglasses and glasses in general that you can put on, and then you can overlay the virtual world on top of the real world. So there's all these things coming down the line in order to make the virtual world feel more immersive. It's related to crypto in that there are already a lot of cryptocurrency projects like Decentraland, which offers land, virtual land that you can buy. And the idea would be in the future, you might be able to walk through that land using a VR headset, although right now it's fairly primitive. And you've got similar things starting up on Cardano to the Pavia.io, I think, environment. So this article is well worth a read. It has things like brands are also betting big on virtual reality. Some brands are already selling direct to avatars D2A, or Gucci selling a virtual bag that costs more than the real one. And Facebook were also in their video demonstrating how designers of the future could be designing clothes, virtual clothes that only exist virtually, that you buy and you wear to a virtual party, for example. I know it might seem a little bit crazy or futuristic right now, but it's really just around the corner. And this can lead on to a whole new economy, really. So if you're listening to this and you're bored of your job and you feel like reinventing yourself as a fashion designer or interior designer or a furniture builder, pretty soon in the future you could be living your best life online virtually. Um, isn't that amazing? It's something I'm going to keep a close eye on. Anyone that knows me in real life knows I'm fascinated by architecture. So if I could become some virtual architect, I think that'd be amazing. But yeah, it's just a very interesting time to be alive. So the current excitement in the Cardano community is all around SundawSwap's ISO election. ISO stands for Initial Stake Pool Operator, I think. Let's have a quick look over here. Yes, stake pool operator, initial stake pool operator. What this means is that SundawSwap are looking for some stake pools to both offer their SundawSwap tokens through, as well as to run their scooper mechanism as part of their DEX, which I talked about in one of my previous videos. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. Now, this initial vote is simply to select the stake pools which will operate SundawSwap's tokens and scoopers. You don't have to vote. If you don't vote, you're not going to miss out on SundawSwap tokens. That will come later. After these SPOs have been chosen, that's when you'll want to delegate with them. But the voting is important from a security point of view. SundawSwap are relying on a handful, in fact 30 stake pools to run their DEX for them, essentially. And it's important that that's a trusted wide network of SPOs, as otherwise corrupt SPOs could collude together and that would pose a risk to the SundawSwap DEX. And that's why SundawSwap are asking us, the community, to pick the SPOs. So how do you actually vote? Well, there's two ways. One, and probably the simplest way, is you go to the SundawSwap website, you click on this SPO vote link, you find the name of the SPO you wish to vote for example, Bloom, which is a very well-known pool down there. You can also optionally select another one as a secondary vote. And then down here, you'll see it has two options, connect with Nami wallet or vote with any wallet. So if we select vote with any wallet, let me just tick that. It's now copied this amount to my clipboard. And we can see that by going here. Here's what I did earlier. There's 2.783. And all I need to do is using whatever wallet that my Cardano is currently in, so dataless right now, I just have to send this amount back to myself. So from my wallet back into my own wallet. That way I'm obviously not losing any money. If you're wondering how it actually knows who you voted for, it sort of mentions it down here. The first 3 digits encode your first vote, and the second number encodes the fact that you did not choose a second option. So if you selected a second option here, then this number would update. So that's a clever mechanism they're using. And you can see a list of all SPOs over here if you want to have a browse. I was probably going to do Bloom, but I'm guessing Bloom's going to get enough votes given how well known it is. So I'm going to have a little read through and see what other pools I can support. Ideally, I'd like to support a smaller pool as well. The other way is through a NAMI wallet. NAMI is a web-based wallet for Cardano, so you can get it from this website. Make sure you go to the right website. And I downloaded the Chrome extension. So I've got that extension installed on my browser. I just haven't set up the actual wallet within NAMI yet. So I'm just going to stick to the first method that I mentioned. But I am interested in also learning more about the NAMI wallet and seeing how that experience works. So, it might be something you want to try out. The NAMI wallet and web-based wallets in general, so there's NAMI and there's Yoroi, they're going to become very important as the Cardano ecosystem develops, as you'll be interacting with a lot of dApps through them. I'm still a little bit stuck in my ways. Daedalus was the very first wallet I ever used. I know it and I trust it. It's very slow and cumbersome, as we all know. But what I'm probably going to do as dApps develop, I'm going to set up a separate wallet with a small portion of my funds, put that into a web-based wallet such as NAMI and Yoroi, and then I'll use that for my more day-to-day interactions with dApps. And that's it for this SundawSwap ISO. I do recommend getting involved and casting a vote. And generally, the more involved you can be in the Cardano community, the better. So there are different ways for those who are new to Cardano. Step 1, obviously buy some Cardano, aka ADA. Step 2, delegate, so store your Cardano in your own wallet, Daedalus, Yoroi, or NAMI. Step 3, delegate your Cardano to a stake pool, big or small. Ideally, you'd support a small stake pool operator. Step 3, you can choose to get involved in Project Catalyst. It's something I'll be covering more in future videos, as it's really a note to myself that I need to get more involved as well. That's certainly a very big area. In a nutshell, for those who aren't familiar, Project Catalyst is Cardano's own sort of treasury of funds. There's, I think, $1 billion or something, like a ridiculous amount, or $2 billion available to the community. And every quarter we vote on which projects should get some of that funding. And that's all managed through IOHK and Project Catalyst. So highly recommend getting involved in all different manners there, from submitting your own proposals to reviewing proposals to getting involved in generating ideas and so on. And then step 4, things like this, getting involved with the dApp ecosystem. So SundawSwap are doing their ISO launch. Meld, I staked a little bit of my ADA with a Meld stake pool. So hopefully I'll be getting some Meld tokens. And so on. There's all these different ways for those who are fairly new to DeFi that you can generate additional tokens / coins, you can call it whatever you want, belonging to these projects that are starting up on the Cardano ecosystem. So it's a good time to get in before, fingers crossed, they launch and the price shoots up. Final word I'd say about SundawSwap, I'm quite impressed with the speed that they're going at. I'm really hoping, touch wood, that they can maybe launch in December.